Welcome to the 5G podcast.
We're glad you're here.
We hope you enjoy our conversation about God, guns, games, goals, and gastronomy.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode.
Oh, we're not even mic'd up. Everybody missed my wonderful joke. Hey, that's Link from Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Like referencing characters that aren't the thing that they're from. Goat from Minecraft movie.
Did you want to talk about the Minecraft
Yeah, why
movie
not?
first?
We're on it.
My gosh, dude.
It was a 1.5-minute trailer
That made me hate it.
it's 7 months before release, and it's probably 7 months too early to be announcing that because
I
don't know.
Also, who cast Jack Black as Steve?
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know. 2024 for Jack Black is just going downhill.
And they're not like... All right. We got to give a little bit of background.
The Minecraft movie trailer.
Minecraft movie trailer has been released.
Yeah, spoiled.
One of them. And there's a bunch of random people and Jason Momoa in a tutu.
Yeah, with long
blonde hair, which like what?
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. There's some new kid actors in there too. I'm like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. It's marketed to kids, I would assume.
And then let me tell you, the world looks so derpy.
It's weird. Their animation, like the uncanny valley, right? Of the real life humans with the animation doesn't look good. Not like like Sonic, they did like real world and then just Sonic is animated. And then Super Mario, they just did all animated, right? Those are the two last video game adaptation movies. This one
they're both pretty good.
This one looks weird.
Yeah, it does.
The animation doesn't look right. For the humans.
Like, I wish they had either gone full animated on it and just made like a Minecraft movie, like a movie out of Minecraft, basically, right?
Yeah.
Or done like just real people in like a real environment, and like a guy has superpowers, all of us, or he wakes up randomly and he's like, I can punch trees now and get wood from them, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't know, it just feels...
It's like they wanted to do Lego movie almost, because I have to imagine that these human characters are like a Jumanji, like they're playing Minecraft, and that's why they're human in the Minecraft world.
It looks dumb. It looks dumb. I will not see it.
No. I almost hope it gets like memed on so hard that maybe they cancel it or postpone it, or it has like a Morbius like cult following where it's so bad that people actually go watch it.
That movie.
Yeah. People thought that, like, I don't know about people, but at least theaters saw a resurgence in sales, so they put the movie back in theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Morbius had like 2 theater runs, but not because it was good. It was just because people wanted to go watch it for the memes.
It wasn't a great movie.
The top
premise behind it was cool.
Like the top comment on the YouTube for the Minecraft movie trailer was like, would you like to permanently delete this world? This action can't be undone. It's like the phrase that pops up at delete. Like, that was clever.
I saw, at least when I saw it, there was a significant amount of dislikes to likes on the ratio.
At least 2 to 1.
Yeah. Which, yikes.
Some people are totally trashing it, and everyone, I'm like, it looks bad. I'll give it that. I don't think it's the worst thing ever happen, but
I don't know what story they're gonna do. Like, what they have to just be randomly pulling one out of their rear.
Yeah, they're just gonna be making it up. Like, Minecraft doesn't have a story, so I just got so burned from Borderlands, and then they dropped this trailer. I'm like, no, I'm done.
Yeah,
I need a year break from video game adaptations after Borderlands.
Yeah, and like, I just don't understand what these movie studios are doing. I like,
they might try to market to kids, but Minecraft has been out for 15 years.
More than that.
At this point, it's millennials.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Like, some Gen Z, sure, but
yeah, not Gen Alpha.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it's, and like, did you see the sheep
Yeah, it looks weird.
The face of the sheep, I was like, what the heck, man? Like, I know they don't look like sheep in the game.
No, yeah, but they got this kind of cute, quirky style. Like, that's a cube sheep. That's how I imagine a sheep would look
if it was a cube.
If it was a cube.
But in the movie, it was like, oh.
They like took a real sheep's face and like stretched it over.
Yeah, I was like, what the freaking Freddy Krueger? Like,
yeah, is
he the one that wore? Is he the one that wore people's faces,
skin masks? Yeah, sure.
I think he was. I don't know. I don't know my serial killers that well, to be honest.
We haven't had a good one. Wait, we haven't had a famous one in our lifetime. An infamous. He's so famous. He's infamous.
I think probably. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway. Yeah. Minecraft movie.
April. Woo.
I'll reserve full judgment until it comes out, I guess.
Till movie reviewers cover it.
But I'm not gonna go see it. Based off of the ads are supposed to convince you, even if the movie is crappy.
That's
like Morbius. The trailer for Morbius, it was like
actually looked serious.
This looks kind of sick.
Yeah.
Like I went and saw Morbius.
I did, yeah.
So I was like, this looks cool, and then it wasn't, which was a bummer.
Yeah.
But the ad did its job, right? They got me into the theater. This ad or this trailer preview, whatever you want to call it,
turn it away from the theater.
I'm like if you had said there's a Minecraft movie coming out, I would have been like, cool. I don't need to know anything else. I'll probably go watch it because I played Minecraft so much that like I loved that. I loved it.
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
Just like with the Halo show.
You're the target audience.
With the Halo show, it's like they're making a Halo TV show. It has a big budget. I'm like, cool.
All right.
I'll watch it.
Could look good.
And then that was a dumpster fire and a half.
Yeah. I don't remember the trailers for that one, but I think they looked fine. I don't know. They probably just showed off some of the fight scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
I can imagine, yeah.
Which, like, cool.
Yeah.
This one, I'm like, 0 chance I'm going to go watch this movie.
When you're I guess you're not probably the target audience anymore. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Also, Jason Momoa, like, what are you doing, bud?
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, you are one of the most bad A characters in all of TV, playing Drogo or Drogo, whatever his name is. Called Drogo in Game of Thrones. And also you were in Stargate Atlantis as Ronan.
He's Aquaman.
Like, he plays some bad A characters.
Yeah, big buff.
And then you're playing a... whatever.
Yeah. I'm curious to see where it fits on my scale now. I've decided all of my... because I think I have a pretty high tolerance for movies, especially when I'm already in the theater. I'm like, okay, I'll watch the movie. I'll give it a chance. Like Morbius, yeah, I thought was bad afterwards. But in the movie theater, I wasn't thinking,
this sucks.
I'm going to walk out.
Same.
That's my new scale is Borderlands, the movie. I told you, I'm like, I almost walked out of that.
Yeah.
If it wasn't just for the fact that like I was, a weekend in a small town and there was nothing better to do, I was like, well, I guess. So that's like the scale of like Borderlands is walk out of the movie theater for me. Morbius is like at least slightly above that. Minecraft, I don't know. Maybe I don't even go to the movie theater. So
yeah.
Anyway, video games make us happy.
Video games do make us happy.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about a good one or a bad one first?
Let's talk about the good ones. We did some bad with Minecraft. We'll talk about some good with the.
Do you want to start with Black? Can I hop on my soapbox?
Go for it. All Black right. Myth Wukong.
This is my soapbox about it, and then we can go into the actuality.
60 seconds on the clock.
60 seconds on the clock. All right. So, how do I start this?
You're 10 seconds in. Sorry.
Oh, crap. No. So, everyone is always like, why is Black Myth Wukong such a popular game? It's just, there's no diversity or equity or inclusion, and it's all this stupid crap, and it's all white supremacists playing it, and fascists and Nazis and whatever they're saying online, right? And like, okay, whatever you think about it, like, fine, whatever. Like, maybe there's a bunch of inbred incel neo-Nazis playing the game. I don't see any of that, and also, like, why would they do that if they are truly neo-Nazis and it's a Chinese game? Anyway, and I was like reading all these comments about it and on the Reddit about it, or on like a gaming Reddit, and people were talking about it, and Reddit is just a toxic sludge hole of retardedness. And so
basically,
I was like, just like, oh, these people are so dumb.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, and then I was on TikTok, and so many of my recommended videos, which I was not mad about, were of the headless monk in the game.
Yeah.
And I was getting videos of him in the game, like as the character singing and like explaining the story through this traditional Chinese singing. And then I was also getting videos of like the actual guy who voiced the headless monk. And he was like showing how he plays the little instrument in real life. And like, I was like, this is dope. And my thought was, and there was like thousands, if not millions of likes on all these videos. And I was just thinking like, this is the true meaning of diversity.
Yeah.
Where you have thousands, if not millions of Americans, probably white Americans, being introduced to this unique and amazing foreign instrument and artist who voiced this random character in a video game.
Yeah.
And he's getting so much attention and becoming so popular because of his role in this game.
And people are learning about it.
And you're learning about it, and you're appreciating the musicality of it, and like it's a little bit of the throat singing, and so it's a little bit like nasally almost. That's right?
A skill.
And yeah, so it's like, oh wow, this is really cool. And I went on a little bit of a, not like a full rabbit hole, but like a little bit of a rabbit hole, just like looking into this guy and like learning about it. And I was like, this is Black Myth Wukong. If it should win any award besides probably Game of the Year, it should be for the best diversity.
Yeah.
Like the most diverse game, because it's introducing you to a diverse viewpoint of the world, a diverse aspect of the world that you might not have been familiar with.
Teaching millions of players, not just the Chinese mythology, but then even the culture and the music and everything behind it. Like,
and I think it's so dumb that people are slamming the game, and it's not that many people probably.
It's probably mostly, again, video game journalists.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a non-zero number of people slamming the game for being racist, misogynist, homophobic,
or whatever. Yeah.
Because there's not enough DEI in it.
Yeah. Insert whatever. Yeah.
There's not enough black people in my Chinese story.
Ancient Chinese mythology story.
There's not enough Irish people. Like if I changed black with Irish,
is that
or Italian, or English, like from England, right? It's like, oh, there's not enough Scottish people in my ancient Chinese mythology. No one would be mad.
Yeah, no one would be like, I need to see my Scotsman heritage represented.
I need to have a big burly bearded guy who has Celtic tattoos and carrying a claymore sword in a kilt, and a tartan.
And just a guy playing bagpipes behind you.
Yep, exactly. This would be a cool video game.
But that's the thing, is you don't need to see yourself in every video game.
No.
You don't need to see that kind of diversity, 100% diversity in every video game.
No.
And it's impossible, or every piece of media, right? Apply that to anything.
Yeah.
You can take bits and pieces here and there. And this one is about Chinese mythology.
And the pieces that if you are going to adapt it to yourself, one thing that I saw was that so many young men and men in general love Black Myth Wukong because it's aracial.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's a monkey.
You're playing a monkey.
And like every person can see themselves in this heroic armor with this cool staff and wielding it around and running around and beating up enemies, and like every dude's like, yeah, that's me.
You're taking on these big, like, larger than life challenges.
Yeah.
Like, I think I mentioned this last week, but Wukong is basically like the Chinese version of like Hercules. It's like the hero who goes through all of these trials and ends up becoming like a demigod, basically.
Anyway, that's my soapbox, is that if Wukong doesn't win the DEI awards, that everyone is stupid.
Yeah. But
I haven't even played the game.
I haven't even played the game yet. I probably will at some point. I think it's right up my alley as a Souls-like, so when it comes on sale at some point, like, they announced this week they're already working on like the next expansion for it. Like, obviously they got the money to continue working on the game. So
segue into the topic that you wanted.
Just on Steam sales, game has been out 2 weeks by the time we're recording here. Maybe 3 weeks by the time it releases, because it had a weird like a Tuesday release even.
So it will be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
No, it'll only be 2 weeks.
I think 3 weeks.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
On a Tuesday release when they hit, like top the Steam charts. Yeah, wild. But 3 weeks it's been out. Just the Steam sale numbers, 850 million worldwide. Is insane.
And that doesn't take into account PlayStation.
PlayStation, yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, and they haven't even done an Xbox release if they ever will, but
they don't need to.
They don't need to. They got Steam, PlayStation, like 850 million. So there's at least 1 billion copies sold. Then that's safe to say. How many billions of people are there on the planet? 1 billion of them bought Black Myth Wukong. That is so many sales.
That's crazy.
They're making, unless I got the number wrong. But
is it $850
million? My bad. I was like, I'm
so well. So they've made $1 billion.
So they've made over $1 billion.
Easy.
That makes more sense.
And
that's our clickbait. Sorry, guys. Trevor had a gap in his brain.
I mean, but like, how many other games have ever surpassed $1 billion?
Yeah.
I mean, if the game makes 500 million, it's a huge success.
Totally. Like, over the lifespan of a game, if you get $1 billion from all the cosmetics and microtransactions and everything, you're pretty darn happy over, the 10-year period or whatever that you're doing microtransactions.
Well, and like, I think we looked it up a little while ago, a month or two ago, for GTA 5.
Oh yeah.
And the entire lifespan of that game, which is
10 years at least.
10 years is like 2.5 billion.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the most popular games ever.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have and that's including all of that's like the lifespan of the game, right? It's 2.5 billion.
Little stuff, yeah.
And so for this game in 3 weeks to make $1 billion without any microtransactions.
Yeah. Just a $60 game, no pre-order, no nothing, early access, no premium editions.
Just $60 straight up.
$60, it gets you the game. That's it.
So how many copies is that? If it's $1 billion divided by $60?
I mean, it was at least 2.5 million people playing on Steam. I think that was the highest number at one point.
Well, that's only $160 million.
$850 million.
120, I mean.
Divided by $60 is 14 million copies at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's pretty good. Just on Steam.
On Steam.
Black Myth Wukong. It's great.
I want to know how many. Now I'm curious how many on Steam concurrent players there are.
Oh,
like how many people are not playing one game, but like of all the games being played, how many people are on Steam at any one given time?
Oh, true. I've seen that number before, but obviously, it peaks every weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And probably in the evenings in the US. But anyway, Black Myth Wukong.
Probably game of the year. I mean,
if it doesn't win it, it's for politics.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a contender for sure.
Well, to be honest, though, Helldivers did come out this year. And that was also a smashing success.
Very, very big. I've heard they're kind of, and again, I haven't played it. I heard the developers are kind of...
I think they're still having problems with Sony.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
And the PSN stuff.
So some of the players are kind of complaining, and the developers maybe aren't doing the best. I don't know. I can't speak to that.
I've heard that as well. But I see one of our friends online all the time playing that. Ian.
Yeah.
I see him on it all the time. The little Steam message pops up like...
Helldivers. Yeah, I heard there was a semi-big fiasco that there was like a really tough challenge, right? Because the game is like, there's basically a dungeon master controlling all the in-game events. There was like a really hard one that the players were just having a hard time with, and they were like almost out of time. So just like a group of hackers went in and just like beat the event. And like the developers were kind of pissed. Some of the players, arguably the smart players, were kind of pissed, like, well, why did you do that? The dumb players were like, well, we couldn't win it anyway, so we had to hack. And the smart players are like, Yeah, but maybe that's the narrative the DM was trying to craft for us. Like
so
maybe
we couldn't beat it.
Yeah, maybe we were supposed to lose this one, and then the story evolves from there. And so now, like, the hackers ruined it for everyone.
Yeah, that's
a classic Dungeons and Dragons. Like, you just totally derailed the campaign, man. Like,
now
nobody can have fun. But
I would be very pissed if I were a developer or the DM about that and be like, okay,
guys, you were supposed to lose this one. I just didn't want to tell you. Like, you have the illusion that you're in a role-playing world fighting bugs.
Yeah.
Like, and the odds seem insurmountable.
Yeah, I don't know.
So there's some big names for Game of the Year coming up.
Probably. And I think Space Marine 2 is going to be up there.
Yeah, probably.
It looks dope.
That game's getting a ton of hype.
I'm playing it next week.
It already released for the
non-plebes.
Yeah, the non-plebeians. I said no pre-orders.
I mean, everyone who does it, like, it makes sense why people do it.
I guess it's fine. I was only semi-convinced because they're having a Monday release date for the plebeians. So you get a whole extra early weekend, which feels kind of lame. And then, like, starting next Monday, I have to go on call at work. And so it's like, I don't know how much time I'll get to play if I have to be, like, next to my phone all week and through the next weekend. Maybe I could have bought the early access and enjoyed this weekend, but whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to get ahead because they paid for early access.
You get to be the one on call when your hydrochloric acid decides to...
See, luckily that wasn't us.
Oh.
That was a different team, so didn't have to deal with that.
Did they figure that out eventually?
I think so. I didn't read the email. It came in at the end of the day Friday. That's a Monday morning email. But yeah, it wasn't us, luckily.
Yeah.
Only impacted me slightly because my tanker couldn't unload my caustic chemical because it was, like, right next to the HCl, and they were like, we mostly cleaned it up, but it's a windy day and vapors, so had to keep everybody out of the area. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Black Myth Wukong, Helldivers, good games. Space Marine 2 looks like it's amazing, and I want to play it very badly.
Yeah, if you haven't seen anything on it, you should. By the time this video releases, Space Marine 2 will be out.
It will, and you should definitely check out some gameplay of it.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
It looks sick.
Very excited.
I was watching a streamer who obviously got it early access or whatever, and man,
yeah,
he was playing the hammer guy, and just it made me want to play the hammer guy.
That's me. I see myself in that character.
Oh, the Emperor.
Hammer guy. Yeah, you get 3-player campaign co-op, and then even if you don't have friends to play with, the AI is always with you. So there's always 3 characters. Marines, 3 Space Marines doing it. The multiplayer is there's a PvE mode where you're playing with your buddies, and then there's also the PvP mode, and both of those have the 6 classes that you can pick. And
I didn't know there's a PvP mode.
See, yeah, that's the thing of, like, you pay for the early access. When Monday rolls around and all the plebeians hop in, those guys are going to be better at the PvP. I don't know how much, as far as you unlock, are they going to have stronger stuff?
Yeah, that's a good point.
But there is a PvP mode.
3v3?
I think, yeah, it's all 3v3.
Might be fun to test out.
Yeah, would be pretty sick. There's 6 different classes you can get in the game.
I didn't know there's PvP. That's cool.
That's what they have so far, at least. Like I said, the campaign, and then the multiplayer PvE and the multiplayer PvP is, and then
is the campaign not multiplayer?
Yeah, that campaign's multiplayer as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just co-op.
Yeah,
and then the PvE mode is like a King of the Hill type thing or something, like a wave defense, I believe.
Gotcha.
But they easily have the groundwork to release more stuff.
Yeah.
More content, but more game modes. More.
It's like a Call of Duty Zombies for the PvE.
I believe so.
Similar vibe.
Yeah. But I think it's you pick the same 6 classes and you level them up. You get your weapon loadouts, all the same customization as the PvP. The campaign, I don't think it's like a Halo style where you go through the missions and you pick up different guns and stuff.
Yeah,
so
sure.
It's not as much of an RPG in the campaign.
Yeah, but it looks sick.
It looks cool. It looks pretty. Boss fights look fun.
Yeah.
The horde slaying looks great.
The boss fights remind me a lot of Remnant.
Oh, yeah. Kind of a Dark Souls-esque style fighting game.
But with the guns.
With guns, yeah, too. Yeah. That's, Remnant. If Remnant was Dark Souls with guns, then Space Marine 2 is Halo with hammers? Halo did have a gravity hammer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to think. It's on the tip of my tongue. Good comparison there.
Yeah, it looks dope. It looks
Gears of War with hammers, then probably.
Yeah,
but you still have chainsaws. I don't know. They cracked the code. Every good third-person shooter needs chainsaws. Apparently,
every shooter game needs a chainsaw.
Every game.
I mean, look at Doom.
Doom, yeah. We'll put a chainsaw on
when is that game coming out?
2025.
Oh, dang. Yeah. That game looked sick, too.
Doesn't have a specific date. The Doom, the Old World or something?
Yeah. You're like a knight.
Yeah. You're like the Scotsman who, transported the hell.
I'm definitely going to play that game.
That game also did look cool.
It looked sick.
Oh, man.
Anyway. Should we talk about Concord?
Bad video games now.
Bad video games.
Oof.
Games that... Not even just bad video games. Like... abysmally failures of video games.
Yeah, just how
abysmal failures.
I had heard nothing about this game before release, and then I think I only heard about it on release because I kind of follow pretty deep video game news sphere. But then the news came out that it got canceled. Spoilers: Concord is shutting down. If you were a big Concord fan, one of 74 in the world. Then once the news came out it canceled, it blew up, even from normal news sources. I think I've said this before, my normal YouTubers started talking about video game news. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
you're my normal current events YouTuber, and they're like, Concord is shutting down. I'm like, normal news sites were like, oh, and here's why Concord is shutting down. This is Forbes. It's weird, the weirdest stuff.
Why is Yahoo Finance covering?
Yeah, exactly. Microsoft being at the top, oh yes, Concord is shutting down its servers. Why would a normal person care about this?
Well, I think because they wasted $200 million or something like that.
Yeah, over 8 years of development. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't know it was 8 years of development until after it got canceled. What? $200 million and you didn't advertise at all?
Yeah, there was very little advertisement. So I knew about it before it released, and everyone that I was listening to was like, "This game looks like trash."
Wow, yeah.
It's an Overwatch-esque game.
Hero shooters.
Not my style of game.
They were popular 8 years ago. I'll give you that.
It's true.
It's probably why they were trying to jump on the train.
But it just didn't. That's not my style of game, so I was very uninterested in playing it. I wouldn't have played it anyway.
Yeah.
But I was watching a couple of reviews about it and stuff like that, and it looked so derpy.
Yeah.
It looked so dumb.
I've since seen people memeing on the character design. The best one I saw was some random artist online. It was me character design in 1 hour versus 8 years, and their character looked so much better.
100%.
All sorts of people memeing on it.
And another problem with it was I watched the IGN review.
Oh yeah, and they were 10 out of 10 best game ever made.
No, they gave it a 7 or whatever.
They give everything a 7.
Yeah, they gave Space Marine a 7.5. Anyway, but they were I don't know how they got to the 7 score, because
whatever criteria they're using does not make sense.
The entire time the guy's it plays fine, but it's nothing new. It feels like Overwatch or Paladins or
Valorant or.
Well, no, it's not. It's not Valorant's a tac shooter.
It's not even tactical. Okay.
No, it's literally
just
Overwatch clone.
Okay.
And so the guy was basically the characters feel copy pastes of. You have your standard guy who's a military guy.
You have the Call of Duty guy.
You have your healer who's a nerd. You have your big tank guy who has a minigun.
Yeah,
it's this is just every other. This is just Overwatch.
We've seen all this before.
Yeah. So But they're like, yeah, and like there doesn't feel like there's any like cool art or anything like that. It just like feels kind of meh. And I was like, you gave it a 7?
Yeah. Like, where's the positives then?
Yeah.
I saw the like, because a lot of those hero shooters try to do the cosmetics right for their microtransactions. Saw some of the skins in that game. I'm like, why would anybody spend money on these? Like, if your character design is already bland, but then your like legendary ultimate skin is also bland.
Yeah.
Like what? I guess you needed something good to start with because you couldn't improve it at all.
Yeah.
But in theory, you should be able to improve it. That's why you're charging extra for that. But it looked bad. I haven't even, I think, personally seen gameplay. I've just seen all of the
I've only seen the IGN gameplay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it looked.
I see the Steam numbers every day, and it was like at its peak again. It was like 74 players on Steam.
Yeah.
I get, it was on PlayStation as well, but because it's a Sony made or Sony published game at least.
Yeah. Well, and it's crazy because like they didn't advertise it at all, basically, right?
Sony's your publisher. I don't get that.
And they spent $200 million, $150 to $200 million to make this thing over 8 years or whatever.
That's what I heard, yeah.
And you release it, and like, I don't understand how that even works.
No.
Like with Sony as your publisher, there has to be enough people who see Sony as a publisher and say like, that must be a good game. I'm going to just get it.
It probably pops up on the top of your like PlayStation Market or PlayStation Network, right? When you boot up.
And you look at it and you're like, yeah, that looks fine. And you say, yes, I would like to play this.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Or like, it did so poorly over 3 weeks or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
That they're literally just shutting down the game and refunding everyone.
That's it. Yeah, they're refunding everyone as well. I forgot about
everyone who bought the game is getting a refund.
Yep. And you're not allowed to buy it again, not even to try it out for 2 weeks or I think 1 week. I think it shuts down
on the 9th.
Yeah, in 2 days from now. By the time this episode releases.
Yeah.
Space Marine comes out, Concord shuts down.
Yeah.
Man.
It's crazy.
Full refund.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
I don't know. There's been some very big flops recently.
It's almost like the conspiracy theorist in me is like money laundering, or Sony's trying to set up for their next big
write it off as tax.
Yeah, tax write off. The one meme I saw that kind of got my conspiracy brain going a little bit of like they're just holding back the because Sony owns the rights to Bloodborne, which is everybody's favorite Dark Souls game. That was it was a PlayStation exclusive because that's what FromSoft worked out with them back then. They're like, oh, we're gonna do a Dark Souls game that's separate from the trilogy, so it was a separate contract, and we'll make it a PlayStation exclusive for more money or whatever. And so everyone says, oh, Sony still holds the rights. They're just holding back the like Bloodborne PC remake announcement to like garner all the public favor because they already have all the journalists, all the hype is pointed towards Sony right now with the Concord flop. That they're going to do it. They're going to announce Bloodborne release on PC and then everybody loves Sony again or something.
Maybe. I don't know. But there's been 3 failures in the past month, basically, of video games. There was Concord.
Yeah, Concord.
Which shutting down, like we said. Duskborn.
Duskborn. Yes.
Which looked stupid.
You mentioned that one last week, and then it popped up in some of my feeds or whatever. I found out the big thing about that one is it was like a government-funded project in Norway or whatever. Like, what?
Yeah.
I think they got like $80 million from the government, and you're like...
It looks dumb.
Yeah, that's a bad...
It's just propaganda.
Right. For the Norwegian government, apparently.
It looks stupid. Everyone's trashing on that, and then
that's not even a game. It's not.
Rebels, or no, Outlaws. Star Wars Outlaws.
Dude, yeah. It's been a while since we spoke.
Yeah.
I did watch some gameplay.
I watched Asmongold's video, the 3-hour gameplay video of it.
Oh my goodness!
I didn't watch the entire thing. Sure. But I skipped through it a little bit and then watched his little review at the end, and he was like, and I was watching it. I was like.
I watched some random YouTuber I'd never seen before, but he was hilarious. Actually, I should almost send you his video because I was laughing. I was dying laughing at his random YouTuber I'd never seen before. It was so funny. He was like trying to give it an honest try. He's just like, yeah, in the game Star Wars Outlaws, you're only allowed to gamble 3 times in a row before they just cancel it. You're not allowed to gamble anymore. You have to like go do another mission and come back. He's like, was this game made for children? It's weird. He's like playing the Star Wars poker, and then like after 3rd hand, it's like it's canceled. Like it doesn't let him sit back down at the table to gamble again. He's like, what if I just want to play your mini game? Like what?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he had some other funny comments of like, maybe they should have just like given her a shock baton or something, because this little like 120-pound girl just goes up to any human, any NPC in the game, and just goes, and that's the stealth knockout every time the animation plays. It's just throwing these wild haymakers, and the guys just fall over dead. Just give her a shock baton.
I saw I saw like some clips where it was like super buggy as well.
Oh yeah,
where this guy was like on the speeder. He was like, yeah, like this game like looks really good, and then he like goes off a little jump and then just falls through the earth. Just goes, and he's like well, it did look good. And he's just like in darkness, and he's like looking up, and just like there's the world above him, and he's like, what do I? What?
Alt F4. That's enough for today.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just
I think that one's legitimately a tax write-off for Ubisoft. That's because they have a Star Wars license, so they must be required to make a game every 2 to 3 years or something. Just like Skull and Bones, that Ubisoft company out of the Philippines, like.
Taiwan, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe it was Taiwan. They were required to make a game every 10 years or something. It was
Taiwan.
Had to keep their contract money. So it's Star Wars Outlaws don't
a bunch of video game failures recently.
Yeah.
Speaking of successes, other successes
makes the successes look better.
It does. There's a new tactical shooter out.
All right. Counter-Strike 2. Hold my beer.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So it's called, I think I mentioned it last time, it's Spectre Divide.
Spectre Divide.
And it released, which is cool. I've been reading on the Reddit. So I've played it.
Yeah.
Right? And I've played it a decent amount, actually.
72 hours played on Steam. Yeah, I've played a little bit.
No, I don't have that much yet. I don't think I'm at like 10 hours yet, probably. Anyway, the matches are like relatively quick, which is nice. So, anyway, it's a tactical shooter. You have a bomb, and you plant the bomb in a site and defend the bomb, and then you're defending from it's Counter-Strike.
Yeah, attackers, defenders, boom.
And it's a great game. Yeah. It's fantastic. The gimmick. The uniqueness of it, the unique aspect of it is that it's a 3v3, but each player controls 2 models at once.
2 bodies, 2
models. One's a Spectre. You control your Spectre, which is just another playable character that you can switch in between the 2.
Yeah.
And at first I thought it was going to be a really difficult mechanic to figure out because it seems like that. And so from what I had seen, I was like, oh, well, you're just going to leave one of them in spawn.
Yeah.
And then you're just going to have a second attempt.
Camp them somewhere safe.
Yeah. But no, the first couple games, you're like, okay, I don't get, like, where am I supposed to position this thing? Like, what's going on? But the way they've designed it is so good that it makes you learn how to start using it very quickly.
Okay.
And you can use it in a variety of different ways. I use mine as utility because they have a proximity sensor on them.
Yeah.
And so you can know when an enemy is in a certain location without having to see line of sight of them. And then you can switch over and, find out where they are and swing on them. And then the other one will tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
And you switch back over and
swap back.
So it makes it really dynamic. It makes it really fun. And it makes the baits really fun because you can. So at the beginning of the game, you can open up the mini map and place your 2 characters, both characters.
Oh, nice.
Anywhere in the starting zone.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
So they have walls that are up, before in the buy phase.
Enemy's base, your base, and then like a DMZ basically.
Yep. And so you can go up to the DMZ and then the walls drop and then you can
wander
around.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can place them anywhere you want in that area at the start, and so you don't have to like wander around and like throw your guy out and then like go back.
Yeah, they didn't make it a chore to do.
Yeah, exactly. Just like they were thinking so well, because it was like, yeah, and then you can like position yourself, and then you can buy anywhere you want during the buy phase.
Nice.
You just have to open up the buy menu. There's not a zone of buying
this big.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like, and then also you can drop teammates' weapons, right? But guess what? They don't drop on the ground for them to pick up. They go into a team inventory.
Oh man!
So you can just be like, "Hey, I need to buy." You go open team inventory. Oh look, there's an extra gun right there. Pick up.
There's your shotgun, bro.
Yep,
that's cool.
So they made the user experience is fantastic.
Yeah,
the gameplay is fantastic.
It sounds fun.
It looked great in my opinion.
Okay,
like they did it very well.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of like an artsy craftsy style almost.
Yeah, but then the from what I've seen, because I saw a little bit of the gameplay from the guy who made it, right? Shroud, thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, Spectre? No, Spectre's the name of his game.
Yeah.
It looks almost slightly futuristic. Like Counter-Strike is obviously like modern day military. Yeah. That's how it always was.
Old military, to be honest, at this point.
This point, yeah, 20 years ago when they made it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks almost like slightly futuristic.
Yeah, it's a little bit, but it's like near future.
But then the art style is like
a
little bit not cartoony, but
it's unique.
Yeah, unique. It's artistic.
Free to play as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So in a very small game, I think it's like 10 or 12 gigs or something like that.
Quick download.
Yeah.
You didn't have any problem hopping in matches? Like
no, zero.
No bugs.
I've been on the Reddit and people say they've experienced a couple bugs here and there, but I think it is like unique to them based off their drivers and stuff like that, because it does require them up-to-date drivers.
Okay.
And they even say like, if you don't have the up-to-date NVIDIA drivers, you might experience some
stuttering or whatever.
Yeah, but I've experienced nothing. I've experienced zero lag spikes, zero anything like that, and I've had a really great time. And I personally think that good.
You set off my voice detection AI, apparently.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I don't even know what the code word is. Hey Google or something. I don't know.
But I think we should all download it and play it today.
Spectre Divide.
I think we should do that instead of Warhammer.
Yeah, all right.
Because that's what I want. Not the video game Warhammer, but you know, OPR.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm having a great time on Spectre Divide.
Okay.
And I think you guys, because it's 3v3, and so like if you're on comms, it's like, and you have two bodies, and so like it's interesting. It doesn't feel as bad when you die.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as bad when you die the first time, because you're like, I have another guy.
Counter-Strike has definitely got me on that. And that's why I feel like I play less now than I used to. And in general, I play less competitive games now, but like, dying just like brings out the toxicity in me in those games, because it's so rough, or it happens so fast, or you get the one random AK bullet headshot where it doesn't even feel fair.
So,
and then you have to sit and watch for a minute. And you're like,
yeah. So that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So the guns in this game, the gunplay is fantastic. There's no randomness to the bullets. There's a little bit if you're not aiming down your sights.
Sure.
If you're hip firing, there's a huge spread.
Yeah,
right.
Makes sense.
But if you're aiming down the sights, they have this really cool red dot, white, red aiming system, right?
Reticle, yeah.
Yeah, and the bullets go there.
Yeah.
And so if you get headshot, the enemy earned the headshot, right? Yeah. Like,
okay.
And so. And there's a little bit of recoil, so you do have to do some recoil management.
Yeah, you got to control it.
But it's not like in Counter-Strike where it's like, oh yes, I'm managing the recoil, but like it's going every which way.
Yeah, really, you're just learning the recoil of the gun.
Yeah. This one is the gun. If you just like held the fire button, it would go. But the bullets are still hitting exactly where your reticle is.
Yeah.
In Counter-Strike, the bullets are not hitting where your reticle's going.
No, because your crosshairs are just exploding.
Yeah. This one, it's a pinpoint accuracy thing, which makes it really, really good.
Okay.
And so like when you get a headshot, you're like, oh, that wasn't like a random bullet. That was like I got the headshot.
I got that headshot.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that does kind of remind me of the shooters of old.
And you know what? It's free. And so if you hop in and you're like, yeah, this game kind of sucks or is not for me,
there's no opportunity cost. Like,
you lost an hour of time.
Yeah. Which is honestly, like, if you're a gamer, I think you can give any game an hour of your time.
Yep. The tutorial is, I will say, the tutorial is a tad bit long-winded.
Oh, okay. It's a complex thing.
It's a complex system. They treat you a little bit like a child, though, that hasn't ever played a video game, because they teach you how to ADS and how to throw a grenade. And it's like,
well, every game has to have a tutorial, but
Counter-Strike doesn't.
No, that's fair.
There's nothing in Counter-Strike says, good luck.
Well,
figure it out.
To be fair, it was a mod to a 20-year-old game.
Well,
so
that's true.
They're like, anyone who downloads the mod, they know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
But
there is a shooting range, which is nice, and so you can test all the different weapons and practice with it. And so yesterday I went in and played, and I was feeling a little bit tired, and so I was like, oh, I'm going to go into the shooting range and just work on shooting real quick.
Do they have bots playable to practice?
You can have custom matches.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can do some AI.
I don't know. I've never tried that, so I don't know.
I always like that to practice or like a warm up. It's always good in those competitive shooters. Like, just throw some bots in, like a Halo or Call of Duties or whatever.
I'm sure you would be able to. I don't see why not.
Nice.
Because you can do custom games.
Yeah.
So. But I
throw
think
it up like Call of Duty Zombies. Give them super hard difficulty, all knives.
Yeah.
Then you got teleporting.
I haven't used any of the melee in the game yet.
It's just a knife, or they have more?
They have a knife, but they have skins for the knives, and so you can get like a cool axe. That
nice.
One thing that people are freaking out about is that it released with some expensive skin bundles.
It's a free game. That's how they make money.
There's like all the Reddit for it is just like up in arms, like, I can't believe they're charging $60 for this ultra skin pack or whatever, and it's like,
you don't have to buy it.
You don't have to buy it.
Yeah.
Like, the game is free. They have to make money. And what actually happened was the company was like, ooh, we're getting some backlash on this first price. We're going to drop it by 15%.
Already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just not even like a sale. It's just like the base price is like now changed. They dropped it. So they were like, ooh, yeah, like, I guess we didn't realize that this was going to be like a big thing. And like, we just kind of priced it how we thought we should price it.
Yeah.
And so, sorry.
That's interesting.
So free to play game, indie developer.
Yep.
Right.
Very indie. The definition of indie.
35,000 concurrent players.
Oh yeah, that's good. On his first week, right? It came out. Yeah.
It also had a weird release date. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that.
People are doing that lately. It's weird.
Which, like, I'm okay with, to be honest.
Fine, I guess.
Like, I don't see a problem with it.
You use crunch time on that last weekend as a developer to like finalize things. Seems fine.
And then like you have a couple of days of like non-weekend gameplay to like fix any bugs.
To kind of test your servers. Yeah. That's like, maybe that's why they're doing it. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Because a lot of Friday releases is like, you don't want that first weekend is pretty important.
Yeah.
You don't
so,
want that.
but like honestly, I'm having a blast on the game.
Spectre Divide, I'll definitely give it a try.
If you guys wanted to play this afternoon, like,
I'm probably free. Yeah.
I might give Caleb a call and say like, hey, bud,
start downloading.
Because your internet sucks.
It's 10 gigs. You got to start yesterday.
But I mean, yeah. So like, and I really like how it's a 3v3.
Yeah, that's fun.
Because it's very easy to find 2 other guys to play with.
Easy.
It's difficult to find 4 other guys to play with in like a 5v5, right? Yeah. Like to get a full 5 squad is difficult.
Full coordination
yeah.
on a team, yeah. Like League of Legends style, like you got to have a whole team all coordinated.
Yeah.
Your schedules and then your strategy, double coordination.
Yeah, it's a pain.
When you're adults.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to be on this afternoon for sure, 100%.
Cool. I might boot up the tutorial a little bit and think around, see.
I'm going to email Caleb. What the freak?
You just showed your age there. I'm going to AOL instant message him.
AOL instant message. No, I'm going to... I almost said it again. Text, call, whatever, Caleb.
This is the one that we do.
Yeah.
Text.
And, or I'll just shoot it out to the group, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
Just say like, hey, download this. I'm playing this afternoon. You guys should hop on.
You better hop on anyway.
Yeah, I will play it over Counter-Strike right now.
All right, and then maybe it at least tides us over until Space Marine 2
for a weekend or two. You know?
That's cool.
Anyway,
on to the cosmetics briefly. I wanted to talk about. You said they had a $60 like skin bundle. I don't know how I feel. There was some news this week, right? You know, I'm into Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're my childhood game, but at this point, it's like everything they do is just L after L. Hearthstone is kind of a good card strategy game I enjoy from time to time. I find the matches are generally a little bit quicker than Magic. Sure. A little bit less nuanced. Otherwise, I'd play Magic Arena, Magic on mobile. But they lately, like this year, so like traditionally the only free cosmetics they've given is there's like a board that you play the game on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like every expansion has like a new board, and that's kind of something cool to look forward to because they got little things you can click on and interact with on the board. It's fun. Sometimes there's little hidden secrets like, oh, there's a piano and you got to play the right notes, and then it
does something.
Yeah, and then it does something, right? So with this latest expansion, they said, "Oh, we're not doing the free board anymore."
Oh,
we're like, okay, it's kind of weird. Like something you've done for 10 years, and it is the 10th anniversary of Hearthstone, and you said it was a big thing, and they haven't really done anything. Mm-hmm. And instead of giving us more, you're taking away the free cosmetics. You're like, okay, are you diverting these resources to something else then? Maybe like you're still holding up hope. Then they just announced this week they are releasing a $60 cosmetic for a hero portrait. They've like progressively had bigger and better hero portraits, right? Which takes arts and art assets and time and whatnot. They had like, I think, diamond heroes and legendary heroes that had full animations instead of just stagnant art. And now they have a mythic hero because he changes your half of the board as well.
Interesting.
So we're like, okay, did we divert the resources from the free board to this guy? So you get the cool hero with the animations only when you're playing those two classes, right? It was like only if you were playing blue in Magic.
Yeah.
It's a dual class hero. It changes your half of the boards to look cool and you have cool interactions. But how much should that be worth? Like, I get cosmetics. It is technically a free game. You have to make money. But at what point... Like, I'm not really a huge cosmetic guy. But $20, $30 is probably my limit for something that looks really cool in my, like, $60 game. A free game... I'm not going to spend $60 on a cosmetic when I can just buy another game. So I guess I'm not the target audience. The Hearthstone store in this case feels extra bad because they took away resources from free players and gave it to the whales, they call them, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people who would buy anything that gets released just because. So what's your take on that? Kind of what's the limit of a microtransaction, either in a free game or like a paid game? What do you spend on cosmetics?
I mean, so I always go back to a supply-demand curve whenever I think about this type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, in my opinion, right? Well, so let me give you two takes.
Sure.
Right. The first one is it's really crappy that they're taking away from the free players because that makes you feel bad, right? That feels bad for everyone. Even if you are going to buy the cosmetic, it's like, well, but I should still have the ability to like have the board.
I don't want to feel entitled, but like I'm just used to this. You've always done this.
Well, and it's like for 10 years they've done this, right? It's like this is the standard procedure. You're changing the SOPs, but why?
With no explanation.
With no explanation, right? If they were like, hey, we're losing money on this game at this point.
Losing money, we're downsizing the company.
If they had come out and said that, everyone would be like, yeah, that kind of is a bummer, but like...
Okay, maybe I'll spend some money to support you.
And you know what? I'll bet you if they had released a $3, $4, $5, hey, you can have this board for $1, $3, $5
for the cosmetic.
I'll bet you they would have made a stupid amount of money.
Yeah, probably.
However, I am always okay if the game is free and it's not a pay-to-win strategy. I don't care what a company charges for a cosmetic.
Purely cosmetic.
Because ultimately, they have to do the internal calculation of supply-demand curves, do their, hey, if I price it at this, X amount of people are going to buy it. If I price it at this, Y amount of people are going to buy it. What is the X times Y, or what is the dollar times X, and what is the dollar times Y to give me the biggest number possible?
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
Because ultimately, a business that makes video games needs to make money.
Yep.
And
so they can make you more video games.
So they can make you more video games and keep supporting this free game that you're playing.
Hobbies cost money. They should.
Exactly. And that's why I'm never mad about companies, especially if they're upfront and honest about it, where it's like, hey, this is how much stuff costs. That's one of my biggest gripes, and yours as well, with WotC, Wizards of the Coast, is because they don't say, hey, this is the price of a deck.
The manufacturer's suggested retail price.
Yeah.
SRP does not exist anymore at WotC.
And it just feels dishonest, right?
Yeah.
But if a company's honest about it and they have an uber ultimate, super sexy, mythic, rare skin pack, and they want to charge $300 for it, it's like, okay, they've done the calculation and they've decided that is the best route.
And it was worth the time to invest in those assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, if it didn't take away from...
If it doesn't take away
was
from...
already given.
Yep. And it's not pay to win.
Right, because League of Legends had their $500 skin just a few months ago, and people lost their minds. I'm like...
But you don't have to buy it.
But some people bought that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's like... And the same thing with... Smite, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Smite, you can play that game free to play.
Totally free, yeah.
And you have a core set of gods that you can play.
They rotate each week, yeah.
Yep, exactly. And then you can unlock subsequent gods.
Just by playing. Yeah.
Just by playing the game. Or you can spend $25 to buy the game outright and get all the gods. And then on top of that, you can buy skins for those gods. But you can also earn skins for those gods.
That's true, yeah. And there are like some of them that are like paid only, but there's a good amount that are not. So
there's a few they're
usually
they call them
ones.
The tier 5 skins in Smite are the ones that you have to pay for.
Have to pay real money.
But they're sick. Like
they put the effort in.
They do. And like all of the other skins, 99% of the other skins you can buy with gems, which is their in-game special currency, right? And you can technically buy almost any of the skins for free if you spend enough time in the game.
If you play enough,
right? Yeah. So I think stuff like that is a good way to do it.
Sure, yeah.
I think if you want to charge whatever you want to charge for a non-pay-to-win skin in a game, if the game is free, charge whatever you want. If the game is paid, it feels a little bit bad.
Right.
It's like, but ultimately, it's like, I don't think it changes it that much because the opportunity cost has already been spent, right?
You're already playing the game, and again, if it's just a cosmetic.
Yeah, exactly. I have a little bit of a problem with like mounts, buying the option. Like if you can buy an in-game mount for like in-game currency, that's fine.
Totally.
As well as have like a special mount. And like even if the special mount does something like good for you, it's like, okay, that's...
Blizzard had a couple in World of Warcraft that was like, you could buy like the 2-person mounts. All right, that's marginally useful.
But it's not like game breaking. Yeah.
It doesn't help you in the PvP at all.
Yeah. So it's like,
okay.
Whatever. That I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my take, is that like these companies have to make money. I'm ultimately okay with microtransactions as long as it's not a pay to win or like super in your face, like you have to buy this. Like there are games where it's like you it's just like a billboard for like microtransactions where it's like, this is dumb.
I think we both have pretty reasonable opinions about it. I think that's safe to say, even though sometimes it does feel a little egregious, but I think we brought up one time, or I don't remember if I told you that apparently just the in-game shop for World of Warcraft made more money than the entire StarCraft trilogy ever did for them. So you're
for one item, I believe, as well.
Oh yeah, it was just
like
item.
A horse.
Okay, microtransactions work.
No, they do, and that's why all these companies are going towards them.
But don't overdo it, and don't take away from the free or the standard what you.
Yeah, I think
promised.
and not to just say Counter-Strike is the most amazing game, but I think their system is pretty good.
Seems all right.
Skins,
Yeah.
You get skins for free for playing if you play enough, and they're not like the top tier skins, but like it's cool to have a skin on your gun.
They look fun,
right?
Yeah.
And then you can pay for skins on the Steam Marketplace, and Steam takes.
They invented a secondary market for their skins, which is nice.
And it's a good secondary market. It's a thriving secondary market. So, yeah, I think skins are okay. Cosmetics are a good thing in games, I think.
Sure.
But I mean, I'd rather have cosmetics than not.
Yeah.
Even if they are egregiously priced.
Yeah, because certainly, like, if it's a game I like and there's a cool skin, yeah, I'd consider, like, if it was a reasonable price, like, yeah, or I want to support the game or whatever.
I've spent real money on Counter-Strike skins.
Yeah, exactly.
All stuff that I earned from selling other skins that I had, right?
Yeah.
But like, real money still.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever spent the price of a game.
No, I've never spent them. I've never
spent a cosmetic. No, that's probably where I personally draw the line. But that's to each their own. So
yeah, for sure.
If you're like a streamer, obviously there's no excuse. Like, yeah, this is your game. That's your job. That's your living. Like, buy the cosmetics.
Yeah.
Instead of buying another game, because
it's also a tax write-off.
Also true. If you're doing it right, should be a tax write-off.
Yeah. Which is great. You get 15% off, or 25% off, or 30%, 50% off, basically for free.
Yeah,
which is cool.
So, I probably won't be buying a $60 cosmetic anytime soon, but I might be spending $60 on Black Myth Wukong or Space Marine 2. So,
or both. You might be spending $120.
I might spend $120 instead of 2 cosmetics. Yeah. Or the Spectre Divide amazing skins that are now $50 or something.
I don't remember the price. I haven't looked at any of them. I just saw on the Reddit everyone was up in arms, and I was just like, this is a dumb.
Again, you don't need to buy it.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's good then. Yeah. Thanks for your honest take on the $60 cosmetics.
Do you want more of a clickbaity take, like $60? I can't believe that for a free game they would charge $60 for a skin.
Oh my! And it's pay to win because it looks cool.
Yep, exactly.
And it makes everyone else jealous, and so you throw them off their game.
Oh, that's true. It is pay to win.
Yeah,
$60 pay to win, Trevor.
You're tilting me with your $60 skin.
I am tilted.
We could talk about the Magic card spoilers, or we could wait till next week when they're all out.
Yeah, probably.
We got a bit of time for one more topic, because I have a topic. I feel like we've had a lot of good ones this episode. I can maybe save it for another one, but
go for it.
I am trying to explain a feeling that I haven't felt in a long time. That I got from this latest video game I'm playing, Yakuza 0. Part of the big Yakuza video game chain. It's 0 because it's a prequel. It's the first one I played because it was recommended to me by Yakuza fans, namely my 2 younger siblings. They're like, yeah, this is the best introduction to the series. So the game's like, I think 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old at this point. But it gives you the beginning of the 2 protagonists that are throughout the whole series.
Sure.
Besides the latest game, I think they just swapped to a new protagonist. I haven't heard anything about that one, but totally loving the game. It's the gameplay already, and this isn't my main topic, but to give the background, it's the story is like a 1980s crime drama in Japan because you're following the Yakuza.
Sure.
There's it's dual protagonists, which is super cool. They did that very well. The one character is getting framed for a murder, so he gets kicked out of the Yakuza. The second protagonist is trying to get back into the Yakuza because he kind of got disowned. He did some bad things with the family, but he his whole life is Yakuza, so he wants to get back in. So they're both kind of doing questionable things, right? But both kind of enemies, and so there's cool dynamics going on. You feel like you're living in 1980s crime drama, the ones in Tokyo, the other ones in Osaka, so you kind of get a picture of like the nightlife. The gameplay, in terms of like the core gameplay, is like a action RPG beat 'em up. Feels super good to fun, like combo off. You gotta play with the gamepad because there's 3 different fighting styles that each character has. So they even play differently. The one guy is just like he's got the classic punch and kick. He's got the super fast like ninja style, and then he's just got the like just to beat them up, just pick up enemies and slam them around, but you're super slow. And then the other guy is like crazy weird. He fights a little bit dirtier, so his one is like the like dirty street fighting style, like poke you in the eyes and like I don't know, pocket sand or whatever. Then he's got the like fights with a baseball bat. That's my favorite one. Because the weapons in that game are already pretty OP, and he just always has a weapon with unlimited durability. So, and then his last fighting style is literally breakdancing. And so you're like, the combos you're doing on the controller literally hurt my thumb the first couple times I was doing it. I was like, go X, Y, Y, spam. Like, oh, I got to dodge A. Like, it was crazy. The combat in that game is so much fun. It's never really too difficult except for a couple boss fights. And so that gives them room to like lighten up some of the gameplay because you're not so like focused on the intense like Dark Souls combat. There's tons, like an adventure game, there's tons of side quests, little mini games that you're just always doing. The side quests have fun little stories. The mini games are just goofy and hilarious, but they're fun, they're enjoyable. So throughout the whole game, I've been enjoying it, right? But then I'm getting to the end of the game, and this is the main point, this feeling that I haven't felt in a long time from a video game. It's like a sense of nostalgia where I'm right at the end of the game where it's like, oh, you can go to like do the main story and finish the game, or you can like finish all your side quests. And so each of the protagonists has like their main side quests. It's like the main mini game that's focused on. The one is like trying to run like a real estate company, and the other guy runs a chain of cabaret clubs. So it's like they're like fancy nightclubs from Japan. It's just like you go and you have a drink and you sit with a girl and there's like music playing or whatever. It's like fancy restaurant. And so they both have separate mini games for that, right? And so I beat the one chain of the mini games. Like, I own all of the real estate in Tokyo or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, seems like there's something wrong here, but I'm a good guy doing it, so it's better. And I unlocked, it was like an Easter egg, nostalgia type feeling. I unlocked a new fighting style. So by doing a mini game, by finding this Easter egg unrequired, I unlocked like new gameplay that I wasn't expecting. Totally caught me off guard. I was like, I haven't seen that in a long time in a game. You know, we were just talking about cosmetics. Usually it's like, you beat you 100%ed the game. You found all of the little, I don't know, the little Goombas hidden around the map. Here's a hat. Here's a Goomba hat to wear on your head. Like, you're like, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
But this like made me genuinely excited. The little kid inside me was like, I have a whole new fighting style. Like, that's 25% more combat gameplay because each character has 3. I unlocked a 4th one. It was like, yeah, this is the dragon fighting style. I'm like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And so you have to like, it's not a normal way because you can swap between the 3 in combat. You have to like pause the game and then like press a button and then it's like swaps into your secret fighting style. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then so I'm trying it out. I'm like, okay, this is OP, but it's not like that OP. It's not like, not instantly win the game, but it's just another fighting style. I'm like, these are new combos I have to learn. Like, what? And the new animations are sick. Like, I was just kid in a candy store or 8-year-old me playing Legend of Zelda or whatever. Like, some of those old adventure games just had Easter eggs like that, and I just haven't seen that lately. I don't even know how to totally capture it, but hopefully I did it well enough there.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about it. I was so excited to like uncover new gameplay when I thought I was done. Developers just don't do that anymore. It just doesn't.
I think what you're talking about is you were playing a good game.
A good game, crafted with love and care and just passion for the game.
Yeah,
probably.
I not to be glib about it, but like, I don't think that there's been a game recently that like has come out where it's like, and maybe, you know, Black Myth Wukong is solving this, or, you know, I haven't played it, but like, there's not a game where it's like, I can tell that this game was crafted with love and like a very specific intent to impart a feeling of whatever, you know.
Totally.
And so
and that's why I gave the preface I did. Like, you kind of got to explain the whole game, the whole premise of like, they put a lot of care into this game. They didn't need to do some stupid crane mini game. They didn't need to do the real estate battles like while I'm trying to like clear my name with the law and running from the Yakuza. I'm like, yes, but you see, smart investments. Like, they didn't need to do that, but they did, because they just wanted to create this experience. Like, why would they invent this secret fighting style to like, you got to balance the gameplay around that. You got to design whole new animation styles for that. Like, they put extra work into the game for something that maybe the vast majority of players never even see.
Yeah.
Like, that's not just an Easter egg or just an achievement for achievement's sake. It's like you actually reward the player with not just a dumb cosmetic.
Did it give you a Steam reward?
Yeah, there was an achievement just for like, beating the minigame side quest. Like, you're the king of Tokyo or something.
Yeah.
Like, cool. And then, I unlocked the fighting style, and I've been having a blast with it because some of the animations are sick. Like the fighter, the wrestler in me is like, I want to do some of these moves because they look cool. He's got one. He wraps the guy like almost like a bulldog stance. So he's got his head here. He's wrapped around, and then he just like take insane strength. His momentum, right? He has to like kicks his leg out, and so he flips this guy up and around and slams him down on the ground.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, he also has to follow the momentum, right? So he's also on his back, but you're on top of him because you had his head wrapped. So, it's crazy cool animations that I was not expecting. I just, like I said, that nostalgia in a video game, something I haven't felt in a long time.
That's cool.
Closest thing I could compare it to was like the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time had like this super long quest chain you could go on that was hidden. You had to find it to get the Bigoron sword. Because the game's all about, the Master Sword. It's the sword to save the world or whatever. But like the Bigoron sword was twice as big. And it wasn't OP, but it was objectively better. It just did more damage. You couldn't use a shield. And so, if you like show up to the final boss fight and there's one part of the final boss fight where he knocks away your Master Sword. You're like, oh no, what do I do? You're like, I wasn't even using that anyway. Got my giant Bigoron sword that took me like, you had to run all over the map and know all the secrets and everything. So that's the closest thing I've thought of. But that was a game from 25 years ago. So we're missing that special.
There's a special sauce that's missing.
That secret ingredient in games these days.
Yeah.
Reward the players.
I think that's a feeling that people have had for a minute now. That there's just not enough. Video games, I think, have become a business thing.
Yeah.
Primarily a business instead of primarily a desire to make good games.
Yeah. So.
And I think a part of that is, I think microtransactions play a part in that. And, video games, if done well enough, can make a decent amount of money. They don't need to be perfect games. They don't need to be special in any, big way. They just need to be good enough, and you can make millions and millions of dollars.
So that attracts to like anyone, even if they're not passionate about video games. Yeah. They're just like, this is a good industry to make money in.
Yeah. And I think we're probably seeing a changeover here soon.
Yeah.
Just because, these games that have failed so miserably recently, and, these big companies who are just not doing what they used to do, and they're gonna start feeling that. And I mean,
I think so. Like you might make money, but I think there's some balance because you lose fans. Like you don't hit as many fans.
And they're gonna start losing money.
Yeah.
I mean, the days of making a game for $100 million and getting $300 million out of it are probably over.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that even with the movie industry too, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like just dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, I think a big problem, and not problem, a big aspect of it has been companies coming onto the scene for movies specifically, like Netflix, Amazon, companies where they were primarily streaming, and they just have oodles and oodles and oodles of cash just lying around, and there's not enough TV shows for them to purchase, for them to spend that money. So they're just like, we got to do something with the money.
I guess we'll reinvest and start making our own.
And so, they spend $100 million on some random TV show that 7 people are going to watch.
Just because they had the money.
Because they had the money. And then every other studio's like, oh, well, they're spending that much money. I need to spend that much money. And then
it's got to be bigger and better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think that
hitting like a critical mass.
I mean, I look at games like Helldivers or Pal World or even Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah. These passion projects.
They're passion projects. They may not be the cheapest games. Black Myth Wukong is twice the price of Pal World. Yeah. But they are made in such a way that, like, you can tell that there was a labor of love in them, right? I look at, in the movie industry, I look at, Borderlands was $110 million to produce, or something like that, around that area, and didn't make its money back.
Make like 20 million, if that.
But then you have a movie like Sisu, which I obviously rave about. The budget on that was like $7 million.
Yeah.
And they made tons of money back. They didn't make $100 million.
No, yeah, not.
But they made $50 million or something like that, which on a budget of $7 million is
that's a huge success.
And it is an amazing movie. Like, everyone should go watch that movie. Like, there's a gap between dollars in does not equate good.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And people don't understand that. It
seems like maybe we're figuring it out slightly.
We obviously have.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
every consumer is, or the average consumer, maybe not yet.
And it might take a minute for the companies to figure it out as well.
Yeah.
Because they've just been so used to throwing money at a problem or at a thing and it being successful.
And boom, you make more money.
Yeah. But
labor of love, passion into your content. So I can't speak high enough of the Yakuza series. And I've only played the one game. I haven't even beat it yet. So.
But you have the dragon form.
I do have the dragon fighting style. Sick. The other guy unlocked this like Mad Dog fighting style. That's also pretty wild.
Oh, you have his as well?
Yeah, I got his as well, I think, last night. Pretty fun game.
Very cool. Should we do the one thing at the end of the show that we do?
Yeah. Let's do it. If you got it.
I do have it. Have you heard of Martyr's Cry?
No. I don't think so. Not off the top of my head. Magic card of the week.
It is the magic card of the week. It's an interesting card.
Okay.
It's what's the half moon? It's an old. It's 1994.
Oh, the dark.
So Martyr's Cry, 2 white mana to cast. It's a sorcery. It's all white creatures are removed from the game. Players must draw 1 card for each white creature they control that is lost in this manner.
Ooh. I like it.
So, and it's kind of a cool
Martyr's Cry.
It's like witch trials type.
Snap.
Like,
yeah. Burned at the stake.
Yeah.
But then you get to draw a card for it, so there's some upside.
So, like, all white creature removal is like very specific, but it's 2 mana for a huge board wipe.
Yeah.
And like, white's a common color.
But if you're board wiping your own white tokens, you don't care because you're drawing cards.
Yeah. And the enemy's drawing cards as well, but like
for if they have any white creatures. That's a commander card. That's what I want to see in commander because it doesn't have a home anywhere else. It deserves to be in the 99.
Yep.
Of just like a goofy tech card.
And like it gets around hexproof.
Yeah,
it gets around indestructible.
What is if you really wanted to be rude and break it, I think Painter's Servant. I gotta double check. Yeah, Painter's Servant can change every card in play to a color of your choice, and he's a 2-mana creature. So you can change all permanent. Oh yeah, all permanents to white, and then you can 2-mana just blow up the whole board. Which I guess he's a 2-mana creature, so maybe that's 4 mana if you do it on the same turn, but which is the same as a Wrath of God. But then drawing a bunch of cards.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull up the I didn't think to do this before, but I'm trying to pull up the
Oracle text.
Yeah.
Updated because it's probably exile all white creatures.
Yep. Exile all white creatures. For each creature exiled this way, its controller draws a card.
Its controller draws a card. Yeah, there we go.
It's not illegal in anything but Commander, Vintage, and Legacy.
Oh, yeah, because it's old enough. That makes sense.
Only affects creatures on battlefield, not in hands or graveyards. That was a ruling in 2004.
Oh, good. It's very important. That's probably when they changed it to exile, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's cool. Martyr's Cry.
Yep. And it's a cool art, in my opinion.
I like it.
I like the old art.
Yeah.
The old art has like some care and stuff behind it. You can tell that it might have actually been hand painted or hand drawn, and then someone came along and like the new art's cool, but like it's all CGI, like computer.
Totally.
This stuff is like someone like hand painted this. It looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are some of those. Like, I'm a big fan of recently. Actually, I don't know if he's done any cards for Magic in the past couple of years, but like Howard Lyon was also local, but like a lot of his Magic cards. Even newer style, just you can tell, like, I could put this on a painting and hang it in my house.
Yeah.
Doesn't really seem like you can do that with newer Magic cards.
No, not really.
No.
Doesn't feel like that. Some of the lands you probably could.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Some of the Asian inspired lands.
Oh, absolutely.
Those are sick.
Amazing.
Those are dope. I've actually thought about printing out some of them and just like a picture like this big, just like hanging on the wall. It looks sick.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Magic card of the week. Thanks.
There it is.
Sure.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Cool.
Might throw it in a white deck.
Yeah. Why not? Need some card draw, some whiteboard wipe.
Yeah. There it is. There it is.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of the 5G Podcast.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks.